And then you're also.
Let's everybody move up to the front, take up one empty seat. No shame. No sitting in the back or on the periphery. Okay. Sorry. The next time you come up, ma'am.
I'm not coming up.
No.
There.
Right, yes, ma'am. You and I are discussing the outage TTPs. Keep your fridge closed.
I'll take the outage details.
Okay, right.
And then you're going to discuss the outage details in the key events.
Down here, yes, ma'am.
In the key events.
Right here.
Because I'm going to mention that the upcoming outages will be briefed in the key events.
Yes, ma'am.
We've got some
Yep.
Okay. I'll brief the TTPs.
No.
There's a couple there that I want to key in on, and it's really that USDA chart that I want people to go to.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Okay. Ready? Good morning, everyone, and aloha. Welcome to the Community Information Exchange for November 24. I'm Mike Donnelly, the Director of Public Affairs for the U.S. Army Garrison, Hawaii. We're broadcasting live today from the Tropics Recreation Center on Schofield Barracks. If you experience technical difficulties during the live feed, we are recording the event and it will be posted on our Facebook page following the event today. If you're joining us in person, please use the microphones in the rooms passed around on the tables and in the left and right of the room if you have questions when we get there. If you're looking for a copy of today's slides, you can find them on our website, home.army.mil/Hawaii. Click on the Community Information Exchange and the month of November. Coincidentally, last month, October, we had 5 very specific subjects, so there were no backup slides. And our audience made us honest on that. So the November backup slides are there, and there's about 75 to 100 different slides. A lot of them are services and good information for soldiers and our families. Shown is, let's go to the next slide. Shown is today's agenda. We have a focused handful of community information topics from our presenters. I want to take a moment to recognize a couple kiosks and information outlets that are out there. ACS is up here with good information at the tables behind our briefers. MWR is here with information there as well. And our great USO has always provided us with great refreshments and cookies for everybody. So please patronize them. And during the holiday season, the USO, MWR, ACS, all key elements as we go into the holiday season for soldiers and our families to get through the holiday season. Okay. All right, at this time, I'll turn it over to the command table for opening remarks. Ma'am.
So next 30 days is a busy time for us on the installation and for our families, particularly as we are a small community in the middle of the ocean. And so what I'd ask everyone to do is, as we listen through today's CIE, think about how we can apply what is being told to us, shared with us, with our subordinates and with our local community, to ensure that folks aren't left alone or uninformed. We've got some discussion about what is going to be open, what's not going to be open, places that soldiers and families can go to during the Thanksgiving holiday break there. And then as we talk future planning in the next 30 days, a lot of young families and soldiers will start prepping for the block leave period. And then how can we wrap our arms around them as well to make sure those that can't go home are feeling as welcome and a part of our team and community as we can. Thanks, ma'am.
Thanks, sir. Hey, so Sergeant Major really hit the nail on the head. Today's community information exchange is really focused around topics that are meant to help us prepare for this upcoming holiday season. We're going to look specifically at some of those, and as we roll into our last community information exchange of the year in December, we want to hear from you guys. With this information at your fingertips, what do you want us to cover in December? So please think about that throughout today's CIE. You can chat with myself, Sergeant Major. You can give us a question afterwards or let us know a topic you're interested in for the next one. Or you can always email us, as many of you did this past month, to let us know. The emails this past month did help us tighten our shot group, though, on getting those hidden slides back into the slide deck. So thank you all very much. We do appreciate that feedback. All right, Mike, let's kick it off.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Let's go to the next slide. The first topic that we're going to cover is an environmental one. We're going to bring up our public works environmental specialist and the colonel are going to talk about lead service line inventory.
Okay, hey, so bottom line up front, there were some confusing letters that went out to some of our population over the course of the past week. There were 2 sheets of paper that were part of those letters. One was a public service announcement letting them know some background of this EPA-mandated lead service line inventory that our Department of Public Works recently did here on all of our USAG Hawaii installations. The other letter was a home-specific letter informing people if their pipes were made of galvanized steel or of an unknown non-lead item. For example, an unknown non-lead item could be copper, could be PVC. The bottom line that I want everyone to understand is we have no lead service lines in any of our U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii water systems. We have no lead service lines, and there is no lead contamination in any of the U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii water. As I said, the letters were somewhat confusing. I think that some people in a read of them believed that they were being informed of water contamination. This is not the case. There is still ongoing studies that will take place as we inventory exactly what the material is that each home's service pipes are made out of, but the one thing we know for certain is that they are not lead. And the other thing we know for certain is that our water does not have lead in it because we test it on a very routine basis. And that is something that if we ever were to come back with results on that require us to report, we would communicate that with the community. But the letters that were received, although confusing, I just want everyone to be certain they are not informing anyone of a lead contamination issue. So if you do hear this, if it comes up, if you've got unit or other family members that have some concerns, please share this. And we're also going to share additional clarification on the USAG Hawaii Facebook page and other social media sites to help further explain those letters. Thanks.
I will be followed by Mr. Jim Tyler.
Thanks, Pete.
Good morning, ma'am, Sergeant Major, team. Jim Tyler, Deputy DES. Sorry, my fire chief couldn't be here today to give you all the safety brief that we had scheduled, so you're stuck with me. Just a couple of safety tips. First off, as the slide depicts, disarm your turkey before prep. If you're encountering the armed turkey, make sure you A little humor, just to lighten things up a little bit. All right, fail, got it. Hey, clean your fire alarms, make sure they're clean and operational. Have fire extinguishers nearby to put out fires. I've got another slide with some other safety tips, but specifically for turkey frying. If you've seen the videos with people dropping frozen turkeys in the vats of oil and they explode, what's happening is the frozen turkey in the water is rapidly expanding, causing basically an explosion within the pot. Once that oil overflows and hits the flame, then they have an explosion, which is why the fire folks really want you to cook that outside, at least 10 feet away from your house. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher or two ready. Make sure your children and pets are safely inside or away, and make sure you're keeping a really good eye on it. They recommend that the turkey is dry and fully thawed out before dropping it in, and just make sure you monitor the temperature of the oil. I'm no chef, but I've seen those videos too. Can really be a very dangerous situation. So again, that's my fire chief's recommendations. Also, just a stat. Last year alone, they had 5 deaths, 60 injuries, and over $15 million worth of damages due to turkey frying incidences. So it's a real problem. So just practice safety, please. Next slide. Christmas safety. Same thing, please test your smoke alarms. Practice sound ladder safety. All right, get somebody out there to hold that ladder and don't stand on the top rung, at least not by yourself. Be vigilant with open flames, please. And when you're traveling, there's going to be a lot of folks that travel. Please get ample sleep and maybe contact your neighbors so that you don't have the porch pirate problem, people stealing your packages or your mail, and they can keep an eye on your house. But I think the biggest safety tip we would give is if you have a real tree, keep it hydrated and away from open flames. That is, for our fire department, they respond quite often to those. So just keep it hydrated and you shouldn't have any problems. Pending your questions, that's all I have.
Yeah, you're not allowed on your roof for IHG. So you can hang your lights, just don't climb on the roof.
I'll be followed by Jillian Anderson.
So MWR ACS has the Financial Readiness Program has some tips for holiday shopping, just to keep in mind. First and foremost, create a budget. Go in with a shopping list and plan ahead. That's the most important thing. Want to make sure that any long-term effects of short-term holidays is mitigated by proper planning. Our Financial Readiness Program team can help you out with that. So if you need some help creating a budget, putting stuff together, they are also here today. And if any commands would like classes taught directly to the units, they can actually come out and do that upon request. So feel free to reach out. Again, that's Ms. Janice Crawley here today of Financial Readiness Program. And pending any questions. No?
Hey team, this is a big one, right? So what's one of the biggest things we hear back from folks time and time again about what causes stress during the holidays? Financial. And I think that being here in Hawaii, where we find ourselves very far from home with big plane tickets, if we want to try to visit home, or the additional cost of shipping gifts, if we're trying to ship gifts home, that can only be compounded. So really, our financial readiness planners are there to help soldiers with holiday budgeting so that come January, we don't come out of this with a lot of credit card debt and a lot of additional stressors that our soldiers and their families don't need. So please, please share this information and let them know that they can take advantage of it.
And I will be followed by Ms. Gabriela Perino of DHR.
Hi everybody, good morning. My name is Gabriela Perino. I'm the lead of family travel at the Military Personnel Division. Today I'm going to be talking about dependent student travel. So this entitlement is used for those who have command-sponsored dependents that are currently enrolled in college full-time or are a senior this year in high school and plan on attending college the coming up year. So in order to be able to use this entitlement, your dependents must be command-sponsored and they must be considered a full-time student. This is authorized for the student to come to the service member's PDS and they are entitled to 350 pounds of unaccompanied baggage. This entitlement has now, the authority has been granted to ACOMs, ASCC, and DRUs. We are in the works of getting a date to have that start, so the date is to be determined still. But in order to be eligible, your child must be under 23 years old, must not be married, and like I had mentioned, must be attending a full-time, must be attending a college and be full-time, 12 semester credit hours or more. If you would like more information on that, we are located at the Soldier Support Center in room 204, and like I said, every service member is entitled to this entitlement as long as your child is command sponsored and is attending college full-time or plans on attending a college full-time. Does anybody have any questions? Yes. Correct, yeah. So thank you for mentioning that. So the gentleman asked, does the parents have to provide proof that the child is enrolled full-time? And I'm glad he mentioned that. So yes, everything, this process will be processed through IPSE. You will create a PAR, and attached to the PAR, we will need your proof of command sponsorship, your eligibility verification, and then your our request form. So we just need to see on the eligible verification that your student is, or that your child is full-time or 12 semester credit hours or more. And then from there, we will send it to the G8. This is a unit-funded entitlement, so your unit will have to be able to provide the funds for that. Does anybody have any other questions?
So I do. This is good for one, I'm over here. Hi. You're good. So this is good for one round-trip ticket per student per, is it calendar or fiscal year?
Per fiscal year.
Per fiscal year.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so I mentioned that because, again, it's good for one round-trip ticket per calendar or per fiscal year per student.
Yeah.
So if they flew to college at the beginning of it in the fiscal year, we're now in a new fiscal year. So if you can still fly them home for Christmas and then back to school, provided you get your paperwork in quickly.
Yeah.
So right now, the approval authority for this still lies with the garrison. Through the holiday season, the ASCC, USARPAC, has allowed us to retain the approval authority for this. After this holiday season, in accordance with the change in regulation at DA, there will be a whole new process for this to have to go all the way to USARPAC for approval. So one of the reasons we're telling everyone this now is get your travel in for this holiday season. But as we go forward, the schedule for this is going to be elongating. How long it takes to get this approved, because it's going to have to go through us, through the senior commander, up to USARPAC. It's going to be a very different process. So we're bringing this to everyone now for awareness as we continue to roll into the rest of the college school year, and then of course this summer and fall when students will take off for when rising freshmen will be headed out to school.
And don't be alarmed if you miss the timelines for this season. You're able to still utilize the entitlement around springtime or summer if you want to utilize it then, if you didn't get to utilize it in December. So just know you have options on when you want to utilize it. Okay. If no other questions, I will be followed by Crayola Tani. Oh, I'm sorry. By Jillian Singleton at CYS.
Thank you.
All right, I had to come back up because we have some fantastic, exciting news for our Child and Youth Services programs. As of November, all of our direct care staff is now entitled to a 100% discount for their first child. So all of our direct care staff, their first child can now come to the facility at no cost. For multiple children, it's a 20% discount. And then also, we do have our monthly hiring fairs, so if anybody is looking, we are always looking for some great new staff out there. But very excited that we were able to get this 100% discount for that first child, currently in effect. If you have any questions, you can contact Parent Central Services. Phone number is listed here and also on the website. If there are any questions? Yes.
Hey, so just one more thing, and I know I keep chiming in here, but just a couple days ago, FMWR participated in a hiring fair, and one item of feedback that they received multiple times was there were spouses that didn't know that CYS is hiring. Please, please, please help us spread the word. CYS is always hiring. Our wait lists across U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii CYS facilities are what they are, not because of facility challenges, it's because of personnel and manning challenges. So please, please, please help us spread the word. CYS is hiring. And CYS has movement benefits in place. So if a service member, if a family member works here in U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii, and then the service member is stationed elsewhere, they are actually able to move without having to go through a complete new hiring and vetting process. So it's kind of a PCS move for the family member as well. So Child and Youth Services is actually a great way for our family members who are interested in working outside the home to be able to develop a career within our FMWR program. Thank you.
And that's actually the CEAT program, C-E-A-T. That's the transfer program. So if there's no further questions, I will be followed by Keola Taniguchi of ASYMCA.
Aloha, good morning. Keola Taniguchi with the Armed Services Hawaii. Today I'm going to be talking to you folks about our Operation Ride Home program. In short, quick hindsight, I realized I should have been doing this talk in June and July, so you better believe I'm going to be doing it in June and July of next year to get ahead of it. Operation Ride Home, through the generosity of various donors, is when we send home qualifying E1 to E5 service members and their families home for the holidays, either on a full plane ride home or a subsidy up until a certain amount. We have applicants apply online. They fill out a quick, simple online application. They submit a command leave form and submit the reason why they want to go home for the holidays. We take all those applications. We have a selection committee review. We do what's called a blind review, in which they look at, the main thing they look at is why. Why does someone want to travel home for the holidays? They rank them and stack them up together, and we're able to put together our awardee list and our wait list based on the selections of our selection committee. We have folks traveling now, currently going through, so up on the screen you'll see the results. As of today, we have 77 families that have been selected and awarded travel. We are still getting generous donations coming through for this program. So if anyone out there or anyone online is on our wait list, please contact us and we will go ahead and verify where you are. All folks on the wait list have been communicated throughout the process, so they have all of our communication information there. But you'll see 77 families, under 16 adults, 79 children, over 52 destinations, everywhere from Puerto Rico to Guam, Hollywood, Florida, Hollywood, California, Naples, Italy, Naples, Florida, and a whole lot of places in between. Overall, when it's said and done, we expect to have over 1 million miles traveled through this program as well. And one of the big things that we ask anyone who's been awarded travel is, please send us photos, send us videos, so we can continue to cultivate our donors there. Are there any questions? Thank you very much for your time. Now I'd like to turn it over back to Mr. Mike Donnelly.
Thanks. I promise we'll get you out in June and July to talk about it next year.
Okay, this next portion goes towards what we're going to talk about later. You'll see upcoming events during the holiday season, including the planned outages. So we wanted to just go over some tactics, techniques, and procedures about reminding folks, soldiers, families, how to go through the outages and work through some of the tactical things inside the house that will make a difference. Ma'am, you want to start it off?
Yeah, so Mike's going to talk a little bit later when we talk key events. Those of you that do follow us on social media have probably seen the announcement already that the first week of December and second week of December, on the 2nd and 3rd and 9th and 10th, there will be scheduled outages for a portion of Aliamanu Military Reservation. Just to let everyone know, these scheduled outages are happening as part of building greater resiliency into the power lines. Overhead power lines are being tunneled and cabled and buried underground, where they will not be as affected by the wind and the rain and the elements that we experience here. And this is also part of creating a redundant power source. This is a project that's going on with our partners at Navy Facilities Engineering. And so that's part of the reason why right now we're still continuing to narrow down exactly what portion of AMR is going to be impacted by this. We did see some comments on the Facebook page that currently our map doesn't match the streets that we're putting out. We are continuing to refine the information, and we'll get much better finalized information out before the outages. But for the time being, we're asking everyone to prepare for this that is identified either in that mapped area or in the streets that Mike will show a little bit later. And this information is here for you just as you prepare not only for this scheduled outage, but for any scheduled or even potentially unscheduled power outage. And there's a couple items on here that I really want to highlight. And the first one is the importance of keeping your refrigerator and freezer doors closed. The items in your freezer will stay frozen for up to 48 hours during a power outage if you keep your freezer closed. I know we've all seen stories of folks losing a lot of meat and things like that from freezers. I mention this and I ask everyone to help us in spreading awareness that during a power outage, the best thing we can do is keep the refrigerator and freezer doors closed. And just as a TTP, because if you've got kids like me, they don't listen or they don't remember, I keep that blue painter's tape in a drawer right by my refrigerator, and as soon as the power goes out, I get the blue painter's tape out and I put an X over the handles on my refrigerator. And it doesn't just remind my kids, it reminds me not to open the refrigerator. The power's out. Oh yeah, that's right, we knew that, right? So that's the first one. Now, I do understand that these planned outages in particular are going to be of rather significant duration. The big thing that I want folks to understand is that by planning ahead, you can significantly minimize having to throw out any food. So a cooler with a couple of bags of ice in it can protect your dairy items and meat items that are in the refrigerator that would be the first to go bad. There are a lot of items in your refrigerator that won't go bad in an 8-hour power outage if you keep your doors closed. The best source of information for this is cited at the bottom of this slide. That's the USDA.gov site. They've got a lot of flyers that'll tell you some of the timelines as well as temperatures. And again, they'll give you guidelines if you are looking, if you know we're going to have a power outage, of protecting your food, whether it's by freezing it ahead of time, if it's resilient enough to be able to be frozen, or using an alternate method such as a cooler with a couple bags of ice in it. So again, we apologize for this service interruption. We do definitely know that it is a pain. We are working to consistently upgrade our electrical infrastructure to try to get ahead of all of the electrical outages that everyone has been experiencing for years on end now. And so thank you for your patience and understanding as we do this, and more to follow as we zero in the area, and also more to follow on some special activities at AMR that FMWR and Island Palms communities will be doing to help pass the time during those power outages. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. So, like we do up here on Schofield for U.S. Army Hawaii on this side, when we have an extended power outage, we set up a facility for those that have critical items that must be refrigerated. Do we have a ability to do that over at AMR? I don't know what the facilities provide.
So Sergeant Major, if we knew we were going to have a 24-hour outage, that's something that we would be doing. With an 8-hour outage, because it is something that coolers and localized, and even because it's impacting a small neighborhood of AMR, asking folks to reach out to neighbors and have neighbors store your milk in their refrigerator for a day. That's what we're using in this particular case. But for extended outages down there, yes, we would do that as well.
Okay, thanks.
Lastly, with the outages, we'll get into the details and the actual streets that are affected. But MWR, ACS crew will have facilities open, so all your devices you can take there to charge your phones, tablets, etc. Okay. All right, the next briefer is we're bringing back ocean safety. Some of you may have seen the news recently. Tragically, we lost a soldier to ocean conditions on the North Shore, and the commanding general and garrison commander wanted to bring back ocean safety to hammer home the importance of ocean safety. So without further ado, bring up Lieutenant Zach Humbaro.
Yeah, aloha, you guys. I've been with Ocean Safety for 32 years. I've seen a lot. As we transition from our summer months where a lot of beaches on the North Shore and the West Side is fairly safe, perfect for diving, swimming, fishing, etc. Now we're going to our winter months. And during the winter months, we have big storms out in the north, creating huge surf. And you can come to the beach, it could be about a foot. Next thing you know, half day, 3-4 foot, and by the end of the day, 15, 20. So we try to emphasize when you go to the beach, try to talk to a lifeguard. If you're going to an unguarded beach, which you see them a lot on social media, stay away. Those are death traps, what I see. When you go to the beach, the best thing you can do is talk to a lifeguard, ask them a lot of questions. What's the surf doing? Is it any dangers around? Knowledge is the best way to keep you and your family safe. We are here for you guys. We love our community, and we do this because, to me, it's one of the best jobs you can have, helping people. So when you go to the beach, I think there's like 7 towers on the North Shore, 8 towers on the West Side. You can find them all over, and even on the South Side and East Side. And everyone will be glad to talk to anyone who wants any information on the conditions that we have throughout that day or what's coming 2-3 days from now. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Oh, and the beginning of this year, you guys, we had on the North Shore since November 4 deaths. We take it hard, but what we do is we look forward to the people we can give information to or save. We put our lives on the line just like you guys to help people. So out of those 4 deaths, all was in unguarded beaches. So no guards there. One of them was one of the soldiers that lived here. 3 were visitors from Otter Island. So yeah. We're all here for you guys. We love what we do. Come down to the top and we'll give you the best information. If you guys have any question, I'll be glad to answer any. Any questions? Yeah.
Hey, sir, just from...
and follow up by the chaplain.
Yeah. Sir, from Major General Evans,
Yeah.
as the Senior Mission Commander here on the islands,
Yeah.
we appreciate everything you do
Oh, yeah.
day in and day out, and your whole team, keeping us safe, making sure we're doing right by the ocean and by the land. You have a very tough job when we call for help, and we appreciate what you do, particularly over the last incident we had.
Yeah. And thank you guys for what you guys do. God bless you guys and your family for the sacrifices you guys make as well. I love our country, and what you guys do for us is amazing as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, sir. And then for the rest of everybody else across the Hawaiian Islands, you got to treat the ocean with respect. We've got a lot of strong surfers in our team, a lot of strong swimmers in our team, and even those folks will tell you don't go out, right? If you don't know what the conditions are going to be and you see a red flag, you just stay away from it. Take pictures, enjoy it, but
Yeah, I
don't
would
go
like
near it.
to say one thing. Stay off at Sharks Cove. A lot of people are curious about that rocks. It's about 10 feet high. They'll go up to look over. And when you got that sit, it'll come right over. And those rocks are so sharp, it'll roll you right down. We got so much injuries at Sharks Cove. If you go down to the beach and you don't see any footprints on the sand, stay high and dry. You know, footprints is a good indicator that no footprints is a good indicator that surf came up that high. When you're along the shoreline, we have a bank if you're on the bottom of that bank, the surf will come up past your legs, maybe knee high, but as it accumulates on the top, it'll suck you right in. And if you're at a no unguarded beach, you're in that water super quick, and with the currents, it'll take you straight out. And if you don't have fins, like I tell people, it's like a duck swimming with chicken feet. You ain't going anywhere. It's gonna take you out even with us. And when you go to the beach, like I said, knowledge is the best thing. And the lifeguards will give you the best advice, the best equipment to use to keep you and your family safe. And that's our goal. Yeah. Follow up by the chaplain.
Ma'am, Sergeant Major, team, this is Chapman Panzer, your garrison chaplain. We have a new initiative that's being started this year by one of our chapel communities. The Gospel Unplugged service is going to prepare 300 Thanksgiving plates right here in the tropics on next Thursday. And we're going to then bring those plates around to soldiers in the barracks, to gate guards as well, and soldiers on staff duty. So this is a brand new initiative. We're looking for a few more volunteers who might want to donate side dishes and drinks. You could just bring those here at 11 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day. And then we'll put that together. We'll have it all done by noon. We'll have all these plates ready to go. And then chaplains, UMTs are going to pick up those plates and bring them out to their particular units and their soldiers in the barracks as well. So very excited about this initiative that's happening next Thursday. If you want to participate, just come here right at 11 o'clock with any food donations or just to volunteer to help. Any questions on this program? Okay, and then one more slide for me, I think. Our holiday service schedule is coming up here. Throughout December, we'll have a pretty robust Catholic set of services on the left-hand side, penance services, Holy Day Masses, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day Masses. And then on Christmas Eve, there'll also be 2 Protestant services, actually 3 all on Christmas Eve at Main Post Chapel, AMR, and Fort DeRussy as well. So please do participate in our Garrison Chapel services if you can. Any other questions? Thank you. I'll be followed by Mr. Donnelly again.
All right, let's go next slide, that slide. Okay, this is a powerful packed slide with a lot of dates, times, and on the right side is the outages that I was talking about. Starting on the left, community holiday events. Again, these are online, home.army.mil/Hawaii. Hit CIE and then hit the month of November. So you got all these dates on the left for holiday events, from tree lightings to parades. It's all up there to keep everybody engaged and have a good time while you're here. In the middle, religious support activities to support Chaplain Panzer, different services across U.S. Army here in Hawaii. And then on the right side, those are the specific 10 or 11 streets at AMR that will be affected by the power outage. And so, again, you have the times there, 8 to 4, generally speaking, and we talked about the techniques to get after. Little banner on the bottom, the Sustainment Bistro is the only open facility on Thanksgiving outside of USO. That is there are the operating hours, 09 to 12:30 on 28 through 1 December. So keep that in mind for your soldiers as well. But packed information, again, it's online. Any questions, concerns? Okay. Let's go to the next slide. And I'll be followed by Yvonne.
Good morning, my name is Yvonne. I'm the Center Operations Manager for the Schofield Barracks USO here on Schofield Barracks. I'd like to talk to you guys a little bit about our upcoming events here in November and December. November, actually in about an hour, we're hosting a Mastering LinkedIn workshop with Michael Quinn. So if you guys want to stop in, we're more than welcome to take a look at what he has to give you as tips and tricks for mastering your LinkedIn. Thanksgiving, we will also be serving Thanksgiving for our single service members, specifically in the F-Quad. We have partnered with the Culinary Training Center to serve that in their lanai. Also, CSMYs will be on that serving line, so single service members, please come out and enjoy that meal. We'll be serving it from 11 to 2, as well as our center open for karaoke and just to watch some football. Maybe you enjoy the AC while you guys are watching that football. On December 25th, we will also be open 10 to 2 within our center. We're going to be hosting a holiday fun activity where we're going to be stealing or taking away Secret Santa gifts for our single service members. They'll also be enjoying a holiday meal and what else? And karaoke as well. We noticed that karaoke is really popular, so we're trying to bring it into the center. Next slide, please. December 8th, you see here, we have our Military Appreciation Day. This has been held 4 years by USO Hawaii. Last year, we served over 4,000 service members, plus maybe somebody they sponsored. What this is free entry to the Wet and Wild Park, and that will be in 2 weeks, Sunday, December 8th. If you guys have any questions or want some further information about any of our activities within any of our USO centers, please stop by or follow us on social media. We're always open to your feedback too, and we want to offer things that you guys would be interested in attending. Hot off the presses, we do have December calendars that have not been posted to social media, and you guys are welcome to take one of those little calendars, put it on your handy dandy fridge, and share it among your community. That's it. Pending any questions.
Huge shout out to the USO team over the holiday period. Last year's Thanksgiving turnout was absolutely incredible. And if you, again, have young service members who cannot go home for the holidays and they're starting to feel homesick, this is where they meet their local community. This is where they start building their own support structure of folks that are around them inside with the support of the USO. And please give my aloha to Mr. Quinn. 3rd Brigade sponsored him out for all of the first sergeants and above. It's a fantastic course. Thank you.
Just one more note on USO. For those of you that live down in AO South, the USO at Fort Shafter will also be hosting a Thanksgiving Day meal for single soldiers and others who are not traveling, and I will be on the serving line down at Fort Shafter USO. So please come join us.
Thank you guys for your time, and I'll be followed by PAO.
Okay, shown here is a QR code. We're going to leave this up for a second. Everybody wants to take their phones out. What this represents is that matrix to the left. A lot of open and closed services on base. So without trying to blow up the matrix, the QR code takes you right to it. But this is what's open during the holiday weekend. Okay. All right. Okay, again, and then if you want to find this online, you go to home.army.mil/Hawaii, Community Information Exchange, month of November, and this is at the very end of slide 23 or 24. Let's go to the next one. Okay, and again, details on Sustainment Bistro dates. Note this is the 27th, okay?
For the entire community, the 27th is when all of the bistros and inns or restaurants for the soldiers are going to hold a competition for who has the best Thanksgiving meal. Same hours here, 11 to 1400. We've got the Ensu Academy for those who are on the far side of Wheeler. We'll have Sustainment Bistro. We've got the Warrior Inn.
Next slide.
And we have, oh, perfect. Yeah, they're all. Yeah, great. And then we've got Broncos. Get out there, see what your young soldiers are doing, how well our 92 Golfs, our culinary experts, have prepared for this meal set, and then it'll help as the CG and I go through and we vote for who's got the best. It's always a heavy competition.
Next slide. Okay. Okay. Again, these are in the take-home packet online. You can get after the meeting. And certainly we'll hang out here if you need to copy down that information. That concludes, let's go to the next slide. Concludes, again, there's 75 plus backup slides online, please go there to share and learn more about it. I want to thank today's speakers again. Much more information available on the line. We do have one question online that came in. Ma'am, you want to address that?
Yeah, so we have a question that came in online. DES, I think this one's going to be for you, Jim. Is there a way public information can be posted at the front VPC at Lyman Gate for Real ID in effect so that family members aren't turned away for the holidays? It's saying that many family members visit for the holidays and don't have real IDs. Jim, can you speak a bit to what sort of IDs are required and how folks can go about getting a visitor's pass if they're visiting for the holidays?
Yes, ma'am. To the question, an answer to the question about Real ID, we are not 100% using the Real ID right now because of the qualifications and certifications required of the DASG to run that. We don't have enough guards to put out. So we are running it very sporadically right now at our high occupancy access control points like Lyman and Tampsey. Not enough or consistent enough for us to be able to put out hours at this time. However, if somebody's got a family member coming, they can meet them at the access control point and they can escort them in. We'll write them a pass and they can escort them in. We generally, most of y'all were probably not repelled in, so y'all came through the access control points. You know, we take CAT cards, we take VHIT cards, we take retirement identification cards. So we take many, many forms of identification, but we are just not at the Real ID Act quite yet, ma'am. So, but again, if you meet them, if you have family coming in, you meet them at the access control point, we'll vet them, we'll write them a pass, and you can escort them in. So.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that. And then just for clarification, is that possible at any access control point that they meet them at, or do they have to meet them at one that has a visitor center?
Lyman VCC or Tampsey VCC. Thank you. I should have pointed that out.
Thank you.
No other questions online? Okay, we're good. In the room, anybody? Microphones? Okay. All right, at this point, this concludes the CIE. I'll turn it back over to the command table for closing comments, ma'am, Sergeant Major, as we go into the Thanksgiving week coming up, a week from today. Gobble, gobble.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, team, just a couple comments. So today at 1400 in the Sergeant Smith Theater, we have over 80 between service members, family members, other services for a college commencement, and it's going to be awesome. So over 80 plus 1400 at Sergeant Smith Theater. And then in here on the 6th of December is going to be the Boss Holiday Bash. So last year we had over 1,000 soldiers in here, free food. We're going to have raffles. There's going to be a DJ back here on the stage. It's going to be awesome. And if you're a leader that wants to come in and serve some food to our soldiers, be able to interact, hand out tickets at the front door, please let me know. It's going to be an awesome event in here, 6th December, 18 to 2300. It's going to be awesome. And then for the USO, so I just want to hit upon the times. So for here at Schofield Barracks in F-Quad will be from 11 to 1400. Little different times down at Fort Shafter, that'll be from 14 to 1700. So it was awesome last year because soldiers got a meal here, and then they made the transition down to Fort Shafter and also got a second meal. And then the last one is with these either scheduled or unscheduled power outages, never forget the power of an SFRG. So if we know that the planned outage is going to be down at AMR, then if you're up on Schofield or Wheeler, HMR, to reach out to one of those families and say, hey, do you need any assistance? Can I put some things into either my refrigerator or my freezer in order to be able to help you out? And as we're in November, just thanks, Thanksgiving, thankful for, I guarantee you they'll be thankful for you reaching out to say, hey, how can I help? Because at the end of the day, we're a team of teams that care about one another. And then the last thing that I would like to do is the facility here just doesn't get set up. So whether it's Mike Donnelly and the PAO team or the TV2 team and the rest of the PAO, thank you for all that you do throughout the year, just not only for the CIE.
Thanks.
One thing to highlight for everybody, on the 30th, the 25th Infantry Division is going to be highlighted at the U.S. Army Military Academy's West Point for the game. So the 3rd Brigade Command Team and I will be running on the field with the division colors. Earlier in the week, we have, I think, 6 or 7 soldiers that have applied to West Point and West Point's prep school. Some of those soldiers will find out that week whether or not they made it into the next school year into our academy. So it's been a tough competition for those soldiers. We'll fly them out in advance. Colonel Adisa King from 3rd Brigade will be there as they receive their acceptance letters. And then Sergeant Major Olivas and I will meet up with Colonel King and we'll represent the organization out there on the field. Currently undefeated team. This upcoming weekend, we play against Notre Dame. It's going to be a tough competition, but for everybody to get out there and support your Army's football team. Ma'am.
Sergeant Major. All right, thank you all very much for being here. For those of you that are online, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks in advance for everything that everybody in this room does to help get the word out to our soldiers of everything that we brief here. And please continue to share the Community Information Exchange's presence so that we can get more and more people in the room and online. Everyone have a very safe and happy Thanksgiving, and look forward to seeing y'all out there at the various events throughout the holidays. Go Army.
The next Community Information Exchange is scheduled for the 19th of December. It's going to be here on Schofield, and tentatively planned it's at 6:04, the ballroom in the back, right after the Community Readiness Expo. So that's the tentative plan. Thank you. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Army strong.